think this is where I was. My eyes look so dark on camera. I swear my makeup's not this dark, but I look like a raccoon. It's fine. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry that this video is so late, but that is just how we roll. That is kind of the way things go with me because I am just such a multidisciplinary designer that things just... Ugh. One of my friends on YouTube who actually does graphic design at Edinburgh and Napier made a video very recently, like I watched it this morning, about how she's just struggling with the mountain of things she has to do, and she's like taken a month off of YouTube as well. And I relate so much to the things she's talking about. Her name's Emmy. I'll link her in the cards. But honest to God, I don't know if this is a common thing with graphic designers, but the list of things we have to do, like, this could just be me, but I'm a graphic designer, an illustrator, a photographer, a filmographer, a junior designer at a company that does branding, so a lot of brand work, logo design, all that fun stuff. But I'm also a freelance photographer and videographer doing my own shenanigans. I'm also still a uni student, so I've still got uni work to do, and within that uni work I have a main project, which I've not started, and a fucking series of mini projects that I just have no control over. There's just so many. I've got Hard Grind, Tattoo Collective, the Braemore Gathering. Those are like three main projects, mini projects that are happening. Transition Extreme, which I need to get my arse out and start doing. New Blood, which is the thing that we're all going to next year, but I am the social media kind of person behind that. In the group behind that. Then I've got Grey's Film Nights, which I'm also like social media and overseer of things person, and I work in a bar. So I think I listed like 16 different things there for one person to do, and that's not even taking into account Lucid Thoughts or my own like YouTube channel or like marketing myself or fucking self-care. Like, there's none of that. There's no time for that. So I'm not stressed, but I'm surprised when I list how many things that I do, that the list just keeps going and there's just no end. So yeah, the weekly vlogs are getting late. So yeah, this vlog's going to be quite long because I did film a lot for week 6, so I do want to talk about it, but I also filmed a little bit for week 7 and nothing for week 8, so I'm just going to throw them all together. This is what's happening. I don't want this to be a thing, but it's just in the meantime until I kind of catch up again, because my days. See, when I don't film anything in the week, I feel like I can just be like, oh, well, nothing happened, so there's no point vlogging. But then there's still the previous week I need to finish off and upload and edit, and I just haven't. So, okay, I've been talking for 6 minutes and I've not actually fucking started the vlog. So here we go. Week 6. Week 6 actually started on I'm looking at my laptop down here because I'm terrible with dates and I've forgotten everything I filmed, so I've literally written down snippets for all the footage. So this vlog might be terrible, I'm sorry. But at least I've set up lights and I've made it look aesthetically pleasing, because I'm done with the whole get ready and vlog, because it just doesn't work for me anymore. It looks shit. Anyway, right. Week 6 started on the 14th of October, a Monday. That day I went into uni and I hung up my infographic. It was like the deadline to hang up your infographic in the corridor of the building that we're in. So if you are ever in the annex building of RGU, you will see my infograph on the wall between the stage 2 and 3 studios. Go check it out. But after hanging my infograph, I had my 1-to-1 with my lecturer. In my 1-to-1, I kind of spoke about how I wanted to do branding as my overall theme for the year. I don't know how it's going to go, I don't know where it's going to go, but that's the theme of the year, is branding. And Nicola was really helpful in suggesting like some artists to look at, and to like maybe divvy the project up into like 10 mini projects, more mini projects, and to just really spend this year investigating the why and the how behind branding, like what makes effective branding, and really like think about the theory behind it. Because I think for a lot of previous projects I've always been focused on like, this is my final outcome, I want it to look this way, and I've not really necessarily learned about a lot of the design or the theory or the practice behind it. I've just learned that one bit of aesthetic. So it'd be nice to investigate branding as a whole and look at it in different avenues and see where it goes. And then Tuesday, I worked at Imagica, which is a branding company. So doesn't that just work out very fantastically that I'm working with them over the year while doing branding as my main project? It wasn't because I'm working at Imagica that I picked branding, by the way. I am really interested in it, and I think I did mention this in one of my vlogs when I went from interview to Imagica for placement last year, that when I did my Lucid Thoughts Apparel project, I learned how much I love doing branding and like thinking about the brand and how they represent themselves, but also like thinking about the mission statement and the reason why and how they speak and how they present themselves. Like, that's all branding. Getting to work with Imagica really helps with that. At the time when this vlog was filmed, I was actually helping rebrand a artist who is working with us, Sheila Swanson. She did like a glass installation a couple of weeks. What am I saying? It was a couple of months ago. I'm just not good with time. I was just coming up with logo ideas, thinking about what she could have as her logo, and also coming up with like brand language, like how she should speak and present like her work and how she like writes on Instagram and stuff like that. I was coming up with sayings for that, but it's all very like draft because I'm not a copywriter. I don't know how to do copy, so I don't know what Imagica have made of what I've written because it was like 3 weeks ago. I don't know if they've reviewed it yet or not. I've not been in because I've been so busy, so we'll find out. But it was really interesting getting to do that, and I'm really quite excited by that sort of thing. After working at Imagica during the day, I came home and I decided I wanted to make some new screens for Lucid Thoughts Apparel. But yeah, Lucid Thoughts has always been really DIY, really hands-on. I always like to do things myself, so I like making my own screens. They're not the best, but I've made 3 new screens to print with, so now I have some more screens. After that, I was still feeling quite creative. But bearing in mind, this is like 3 weeks ago, so I'm trying to remember what I was on. Today's not going to plan. First off, my leg from my tripod fell off, which is just grand. So yay. Second off, I can't find the attachment for my big tripod, so I'm balancing my camera on a bunch of books. Third thing, I couldn't find the sketchbook that has the illustration in it that I wanted to paint, so I'm going to redraw my illustration. Won't take me long, but I'm just like, kind of pointless. And fourth thing, I can't find my watercolour brushes that I'd normally use, so I'm just having to use this big fat watercolour brush, which I don't think I used last time. So I don't know how this illustration is going to go. Not well, apparently. But the reason I want to get this illustration done is because I'm kind of just like at this point on my Instagram where I have this grid set up, and I know my next post needs to be an illustration of a cocktail because I had a big plan of doing illustrations all over summer of cocktails to help me learn the recipes for the cocktail menu at Bridge Street. But I just never did. And I don't really plan on doing that many, and I kind of have just hit a point where I can't be arsed focusing on my grid anymore, and I just want to keep posting things, and then I don't because I'm like, oh, it fucks with my grid. So we're doing this illustration so that I can get to posting on my Instagram again, because I'm just fucking done with not being able to post on my Instagram. So yeah, today's just one of those days where I'm just like, just fucking do the things you need to do so you can get going with things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this illustration. It's not going to be great, but we're going to do it just to get it done. Wednesday, I went into uni and I went straight to the Mac lab because I remember this day. I remember I wanted to upload my video or render my video using the Macs in the Mac lab, and then on my laptop transfer files across from one hard drive to the other, because if you remember in my last vlog, I mentioned that my lacy hard drive had kaput. Basically, my lacy rugged drive, from being in my bag and being like bish bash boshed about, the connector's dislodged. So I have to like proper like put tension on it and bend it for it to connect, or like sellotape it so the connection stays like tight in order for me to transfer files off of it, because I emailed Lacey and they said it's still under warranty, but we don't do data recovery, you'll have to pay for that, and it's like £300. So no, I do not have that kind of money. If I can still access the files, I'm gonna do it myself, very riskily, with tape, and just but I'm very annoyed because it's a rugged drive and it can't even be in my bag. Like, after attempting to transfer files and it just failing miserably, I don't know what happened that day. I just wasn't having a good day. I went to coat my screens with emulsion at the screen printing department. So because I'd coated the screen, I now needed to make sure I had an illustration ready to expose by tomorrow, like by the next day. So I started working on Mark's birthday illustration. The reason I decided to draw something for him for his birthday was a few months ago, or sometime in the last year, he's commented on my art and he said, I would love it if you just gave me a piece. Like, I'm sure he even said for his birthday or his Christmas, he didn't really care. He just loves my style and my art, and it's very reflective in like both of our styles. So I drew him this like hand holding a vinyl, and, like there's tattoos all over the arm, and it's like vinyl for life or retro as fuck. I can't remember what was actually written on it, but I really liked it. So yeah, sketched out that idea, sketched out a few ideas actually, but that was the idea I went with. And then on Thursday, I was in like two minds of whether I was working at Magic or not. Steve was going to say by the afternoon if I was going to be in or not. So in the morning, I went to uni to continue working on Mark's illustrations so I could expose the screens. So before, when I was exposing screens, I would do like a digital design. I would either like draw it, then draw it on my iPad, and then send it to my computer to then send to the printer, and then print directly onto acetate. However, I found that sometimes when I print directly onto acetate, the ink like jumps about or it smudges, like it doesn't come out perfect. And then I have to fix my screen after exposing it because there's been dots missing from the acetate. So instead of printing onto acetate this time, I thought I would actually just draw onto the acetate with Posca pens and like fine liner. The Posca pen didn't dry quite easily enough, and the fine liner I was using didn't dry at all, so like I was very careful to not smudge it. I think I'm going to need to invest in some pens that like you can actually draw on acetate and it dries. But this was the first one I've actually properly hand drawn and then screen printed, because my other designs have been digitally drawn and then screen printed. So I'm quite proud of the fact that this is like a hand drawn illustration. Then Steve texted me back saying I wasn't needed in the afternoon, so I just stayed in uni till very late. So I'm editing a showreel because I've discovered that I do a lot of video work and don't really know how to showcase that other than my YouTube channel, which I wouldn't use to advertise myself as a filmmaker because it's vlogs and not exactly something you want to send to a potential client or somebody. So making a showreel. And it's very hard because a lot of the stuff I make or film, I never really thought of the end goal being for a portfolio. The only thing I've thought about portfolio worthiness is my hard grind video. But I was speaking to a friend and they were like, you should make a showreel. And I was like, I have one video. And they were like, your YouTube channel. So I've been sifting through my YouTube channel trying to find like things that are actually quite artistic or nicely shot, things that kind of demonstrate that I can film, because I evidently think I can film. Whether or not somebody wants to pay me and hire me for it, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard because there's some golden shots in some of my vlogs, I know that, but remembering which vlog it is and finding that shot and just going through all my videos and trying to think of things I've done over the years, I've just filmed a lot, and trying to find that in amongst all my vlogs is quite hard. Like, I filmed artistic videos in Shetland, I did some stuff in New Zealand, I filmed sporty things like skiing and whitewater rafting, I filmed a wedding, I filmed behind the scenes of photo shoots, I filmed things for makeup artists and photographers and Imagica and just loads and loads of things, but they're just it's hard to compile into one video and make it flow and have like a story and just be nice to watch and showcase my talents, because yeah. Anyway, so yeah, showreel. That's my latest agenda. It's also just procrastinating from all the research and dissertation stuff I need to do still. But it is nearly 9 o'clock at night. I'm gonna get kicked out of this building in half an hour. In fact, nobody's came to check on me, so maybe they don't know I'm here. I'm gonna call it a night, go home, make some pasta. Don't remember what I was doing. It's all good. Then on the Friday, I was working at Magica, so I was working again on the logo design for Sheila, and I feel like I was doing something else, but I can't remember what footage was filmed, so random clips. And then on the Saturday, I was working with Tattoo Collective. So, I need to explain. I got a message on Instagram when I was in Glasgow with Mark seeing Two Door Cinema Club. So when was this? This was it was like the 4th of October. Yeah. So we're in the hotel room, we're getting ready to go out, just getting ready with other things, and I'm with my phone on charge, and I see a notification from Instagram of somebody wanting to send me a message. So I click on it, and as I click on it and read a little bit of it, I read very briefly, somebody wants to work with me, and I accidentally was about to hit accept, and then I hit delete. And I was like, oh my god, what was that? I panicked because I'm pretty sure I'd read this right, that it was a tattoo studio. And I was like, no way did I just delete that. I still had the notification in my notification thing, so I could see the username of the person who sent me the message. So I then had to message this guy back being like, I'm so sorry, but I'm pretty sure I hit delete on your message. Or I got a notification you sent me a message. Can you send it back to me? Because obviously I want to know what it was, because I think it was working with Tattoo Studio. And it was. He was so kind. He was just like, oh yeah, sure, no bother. Nathan from Hard Grind recommended you to me. I'm from Aberdeen Tattoo Collective, and we're wanting a promo video and some photos maybe taken, if you'd be keen. And I was like, oh my god, 100% yes. Bit of backstory, in case you don't know, I really like tattoos. I love tattoo illustrations, I love tattoo photography, I love having tattoos, I love everything about tattoos. Like, oh my god, I love tattoos so fucking much. It's been a dream of mine to either go film in a tattoo studio, or take photos in a tattoo studio, or just be in a tattoo studio, even just a person working the desk. I just would love to be in a tattoo studio. I wouldn't even mind being a tattoo artist, but I feel like you need to have a lot more time and effort put into illustrating, and I'm more of a graphic designer, photographer, filmographer than an illustrator, so I don't know. Maybe one day. But I just love tattoos so fucking much, and I've just been waiting for an opportunity where I could go in to a tattoo studio and do some work with them. I even was going to make it one of my projects last year of doing an editorial, a tattoo editorial, but I didn't have time. Ooh, fireworks are going off. So yeah, he messaged me way back then, and basically now that it's uploaded I can tell you what it's about. So Aberdeen Tattoo Collective has rebranded and relaunched as Grey City Aberdeen. So I was filming a promo video based on the tattoo artists and the tattoos. So I went in on the Saturday to film all the footage, and it was so cool, so fucking cool. All of the artists there are super talented. So yeah, it was also a paid gig. I'm very happy about that. I don't even care. I would have done it for free because I love tattoo studios so much, but there's a point where you need to start charging for your work, and the fact that he just outright asked me, oh, what's your rate? I was sat there what's my rate? So that's a really interesting thing to kind of share, because I know a lot of graphic designers or photographers or whatever, a lot of students watch my vlogs, which I think is really amazing, but I have been working very much freely for a lot of my gigs for a while. So it's really nice when the first kind of paid gig comes up and you're like, oh, this is now worth something. Ace. So that was week 6. I'm sorry, this vlog is so long. I'm going to have to cut so much out. I think I've rambled a lot. Week 7, I filmed barely anything because it was a lot of meetings, a lot of boring stuff that I didn't know how to film. There were some workshops as well that were really good. On the Tuesday, I went to a workshop that was called the Creative Business or Creative Industries Workshop, and it was kind of focused on if you were starting a company or if you had your own company, focusing on the hows and the whys a lot more than the what. So not thinking about what you sell and why you sell it, but why you exist as a company, what is your unique selling point and all that, really honing in and really finding out what makes you different and what makes you special and why should you exist. And then Thursday I did a lot of meetings. Very boring, like student rep stuff, new blood stuff, grey film night stuff. It's just a lot of meetings. And then this week that's just been was Mark's birthday, and I had a lot of meetings at uni as well. And I also had a talk that I went to last night from Concrete Girls, Charlotte Thomas. She is a skateboard photographer, and it was really inspiring actually, because I'm going to be working with TX, Transition Extreme. It was really good to hear from the perspective of a photographer how she had her journey through skateboarding. Makes me really want to skateboard. I can't, but I'm going to try, maybe. And yeah, I didn't take any footage of that, but it was very interesting, and I think I'm going to reference it in my work next week. I just wanted to say, I know a lot of students watch these, people from my course in different stages, or people from across the world. Like, I've had comments from so many people on Instagram and YouTube being like, we love the vlogs, thank you for showing us your practice. And I'm really grateful that people do take something from this, because I'm by no means like the fucking perfect example of a student. I'm a mess. I am 100% a mess. Like, I've only done 1 week's worth of work in 3 weeks, if you think about it that way, because I've just got so many side projects happening. Like, there's just a lot going on. So by no means am I a good designer. I just have a lot going on. But I like to showcase this anyway, because I think it gives people an overview as to the life of just one designer and one student, and I think it's really interesting to see that. Next week looks really busy, but I am gonna try my hardest to make sure that I actually film and edit it and upload it at a concise time. As always, thank you for watching. I'm sorry it took so long. I'm sorry the video's so long. I'm just sorry, but you just know what I'm dealing with, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again whenever the hell I can be arsed making another video. Let's just be realistic. I don't know. I'm gonna try weekly, but like, no promise. I swear, no promise. Oh, my back hurts so much from the angle I've been sat at.